But let's start in the meantime. I mean, the last time the AmaZulu nation saw the coronation of a king was 51 years ago. A 21-year-old prince at the time, and his name was Goodwill Zwelithini.
That's right. He was installed as the 8th monarch, aged 48. King Misuzulu kaZwelithini now takes over the throne as the 9th king, and we're starting our build-up, of course, to what's going to be a massive day at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. President Ramaphosa will hand over the all-important certificate of recognition to His Majesty.
Indeed, and Gcina Mvana takes you back to 1971 when his father was installed under the apartheid-era government.
History is about to be made at the majestic Moses Mabhida Stadium this Saturday. A crowd of over 40,000 people will be witnessing the state coronation of His Majesty King Misuzulu KaZwelithini, following the passing of his father, King Goodwill Zwelithini KaBhekuzulu, in March 2021. In August, he entered the kraal, where in essence, Ubayeda was seeking blessings and protection from previous kings and ancestors, while also announcing his arrival to the throne. Let's take you back to the 3rd of December. This is when AmaZulu monarch was coronated. Historians say there was a crowd of around 20,000 people gathered at KwaKhethomthanda Royal Palace, KwaNongoma, to witness this historic moment. The then 21-year-old prince had taken over the reins from his father, Isilo Cyprian Bhekuzulu uNyangayizizwe kaSolomon, who had passed away in September 1968. His uncle, Prince Mqwayizeni, had occupied the throne as regent. Bear in mind that it wouldn't be until 1976 that television was introduced to South Africa. Consequently, a significant portion of the population was unable to see this almost once-in-a-lifetime event. As you can imagine, newspapers and radio were the only source of information. To give you an idea of what was happening on that day, it was raining, and in African culture, rain usually symbolizes blessings. The event was meant to start at 10 a.m., but got delayed. The crowd waited in great anticipation for the king to arrive, with amabutho making way for his arrival through Zulu hymns and stick fighting. Ingonyama arrived clad in a navy blue uniform with leopard skin trimmings, accompanied by his first wife, then Princess Sibongile Madlamini. King Goodwill KaZwelithini had just turned 21 before his coronation and was a newlywed. At the same time, it hadn't been long since he returned from exile. He had fled KwaZulu-Natal because of assassination threats when it emerged that he would be his father's successor. Back in 1971, King Zwelithini's installation was administered by then Minister of Bantu Administration and Development, MC Botha. Fast forward to a democratic South Africa. These historians unpack the significance of the certificate which President Cyril Ramaphosa will be handing over to King Misuzulu KaZwelithini. What power does the certificate which President Cyril Ramaphosa will be handing over to King Misuzulu, what sort of power will it hold?
It's a very, very powerful, because it is legally, it can be bounded, it cannot be removed unconstitutionally. It protects him, from any, things that is legitimately recognized, and anybody who does has got to go again to court and lose.
The traditional leg of the coronation was completed at KwaKhangela Mankengane, and this time it is a government event, because you know that when a king is nominated, there are processes that are followed through the provincial government, through to COGTA, and then the state president will endorse the decision. So it is the government occasion, but it is also equally significant for the Zulu people for the affirmation of the throne.
Prince uMangosuthu Buthelezi was also at the 1971 coronation with Amabutho. He was there in his capacity as both Prime Minister and Chief Executive Officer of the KwaZulu Territorial Authority. It would be difficult to overlook his contribution given that he served as AmaZulu Prime Minister to 3 kings. Contestation of the throne has constantly repeated itself from the days of King Shaka kaSenzangakhona, who was assassinated by his brother King Dingane kaSenzangakhona. It's now on the doorstep of King Misuzulu, as we've witnessed raging court battles and factions.
Human beings are unpredictable and you cannot guarantee what will happen next. But in cases such as this, there is always a succession debacle between the royal family members. So it's something that you can never prevent it from happening, because some of these things occur within the family, the ruling family, the relative, the close relative. So it's a feud that sits in the royal family themselves, and it's about them coming down, sitting down and reconciling.
King Misuzulu serves as a custodian of AmaZulu culture, and he's dedicated himself to helping deal with social issues that his father committed himself to fighting. At the moment, he's involved in projects advocating for development in rural areas and the end of gender-based violence.
Ngizimisele njengengonyama kaZulu ukuhola isizwe sikaMageba, isizwe sikababa.
Gcina Mvana, Johannesburg.